President Trump, you'll remember, ran for office promising to fix immigration. In general, do a better job than the corrupt, incompetent lawmakers he said were wrecking the country. And he was right. They were wrecking the country.
They were wrecking the country. Look at casual white supremacist and Trump disciple Tucker Carlson losing his mind over Trump's bipartisan immigration meeting held yesterday where they discussed DACA.
These are the same people the president now says he trusts to write the immigration bill, the one he'll sign no matter what it says. So what was the point of running for president?
So this is basically one big, "you promised you'd do racism, Dad. You were supposed to do racism" rant because Trump is relying on lawmakers instead of some imaginary executive force to do the bidding of his dwindling base, which includes, but apparently not for long, Tucker Carlson himself.
In a remarkable twist, the president held a televised meeting with the very swamp creatures he once denounced.
Swamp creatures? What? How are you a credible anchor on mainstream media billing 7 figures when your commentary is comparable to a 26-year-old idiot who posts shirtless photos of himself on Instagram? And no, I'm not talking about Geraldo, I'm talking about myself. What kind of weird perspective on democracy has you getting this upset at our idiotic man-baby president doing something even remotely presidential by seeking a bipartisan compromise on a massive issue like ensuring that 700,000 Dreamers don't get deported unfairly?
When this group comes back, hopefully with an agreement, I'll be signing it because I have a lot of confidence in the people in this room.
This is one of the first moments that Trump has acted remotely presidential, which is ironic because we all know he's relying on this bipartisan council because he simply doesn't want to read this bill. And if it fails, he can just redirect the blame. Just look, even his own party members are cutting him off, treating him like a baby.
We're going to come out with DACA. We're going to do DACA, and then we can start immediately on the phase 2. But I think we have to do DACA first. Mr. President, you need to be clear, though.
Like, he obviously doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Just to be clear, by the way, do DACA or doing DACA doesn't exactly mean anything. But just look at Tucker's face. He's literally disgusted that the president would even speak to these cretins instead of just loading these dirty immigrants who dare pursue the American dream into a catapult and hurl them over the border wall.
Congress is full of people from both parties who believe that the point of our immigration policy is to provide cheap labor to their donors and to atone for America's imaginary sins against the world.
Yeah, okay, first off, only you and some members in your party view human life as cheap, disposable labor. And how obviously cynical of you to take this position as if you care about the labor rights of immigrants when you spend this entire piece dehumanizing them. And secondly, America's sins against the world are far from imaginary. And third, Tucker, you might want to dial back on that fascism a little, buddy. Your Hitler boner's showing as you scream about how the president won't outright reject immigration reform that both parties and American citizens want.
They couldn't care less about immigration's effect on you or your family.
Yeah. All the negative effects, like how much they contribute to our economy by participating in the labor force at higher rates or starting businesses at higher rates, and not to mention all the contributions to Social Security that undocumented workers make but will never receive as benefits. Although you will, Tucker. So why are you so mad, my guy?
The president signaled he'd be happy to legalize hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants now, and then at some point in the future tackle all that other stuff, like making sure they can't bring millions of their relatives from the third world along with them.
And there you have it. These unwashed third world immigrants coming to ruin Tucker's beautiful, pure, unseasoned, butter white culture. And then this cuck goes in with a baseball analogy that is both revealing as it is offensive.
Being a Trump voter isn't always easy. It's like rooting for the underdog in baseball, the old Chicago Cubs. On one level, there is pride.
White pride.
The pride that comes from doing something that fashionable people consider insane. That's a good feeling.
Yes, that's a good enough reason to support a proto-fascist racist, because it's hipster to do so, you fucking idiot. This isn't like being unreasonably snarky about Rick and Morty because it went mainstream. Politics has real human consequences.
But there's also some disappointment along the way, and honestly, there's some embarrassment. But you silently bear it.
I love that you admit that it's remarkably embarrassing to constantly swallow the BS that this malignantly incompetent administration shovels down your no longer bow-tied throat. And for what reason, Tucker?
Because you know that when they finally win the World Series, it'll be worth everything you went through.
How ironic you use the Cubs, or any baseball team for that matter, when they rely so heavily on immigrant talent. This is how out of touch Tucker truly is, though. For him, this is just a game in which he'll say anything and do anything to protect Daddy, in hopes that Daddy will let him do racism. So next time someone tries to tell you that Fox News is a credible network, or that ending DACA isn't purely for racist reasons, show them this video of Tucker admitting he doesn't care about anything but keeping immigrants out of this fucking country. I'm Hasan Piker. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends, and please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Hasan D. Piker and on Twitter at Hasan the Hun. And this has been The Breakdown.